Good morning, Year 8. This is your geography lesson for period 2 on Friday the 3rd of April. The do now task is on the screen. You have 8 pictures. I'd like you to just list how many of these can you name. These are all environmental problems. What name could you give to them all? It should take a few minutes at most. Pause the video now. Okay, so some answers for you. We have water pollution, soil erosion, the wearing away of the soil, often linked to one of the others, deforestation. Air pollution, or sometimes called smog. You're going to come across that a little bit more in this lesson. Global warming, the greenhouse effect there shown in that diagram. Climate change you could also have used. The idea of certain endangered species or extinct plants, that's the dodo there, the famous extinct bird, the dodo. Deforestation, the cutting down of trees. The hole in the ozone layer. Last year, in fact, the hole over Antarctica, which is shown in that picture there, was the smallest it's ever been, whereas over the Arctic, I believe it was the largest it's been in a long time. So scientists believe that this is all to do with climate change. Climate change is actually having an impact on ozone. Finally, acid rain. You may have come across some of those ideas in geography before, some of them in science before. We're going to focus in on one or two. If you could copy the title on the screen, Why Don't Tourists Visit Linfen? Capital L there and a question mark at the end, underlined. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain how coal mining has affected both the environment and people in Linfen. This example can be used to illustrate the problems all over China, in fact, but coal mining and Linfen, as you will learn, are very much linked together. So copy that title down in pen and pause the video now. Linfen is located towards the east of China, southwest of Beijing, in the more densely populated part of the country, and it has been known in the past as the modern fruit and flower town, famous for its spring water, greenery, and rich agriculture, its farmland. Today, it has a population of just over 4 million people, which about 944,000 live in the built-up area made up of the Yaodu district. This is a heavily urbanized area. And I'd like you to copy this last sentence down, because this is the most important fact about Linfen. China's rapid industrialization, beginning in the 1990s, led to increased energy demand, causing a dramatic increase in the price of coal. This led to a lot more mines. You learnt about industrialization last lesson. Hopefully you can remember that that means an increase in the amount of jobs in the secondary sector, in factories, producing goods. This means each of those factories needs power, needs electricity, which meant that coal was seen as a cheap and efficient way of generating that power. We'll find out the impact of that in this lesson. In this first task, we are going to be looking at the links between coal mining and some of the effects it has, particularly one on humans and one on the natural environment. So if we follow this flowchart from the left, we start with coal is mined from the ground. You'll notice I've put a simple little picture there to illustrate this. This is a task I'd like you to do. At the top you'll read, copy this flowchart, adding a picture for every text box. You can see that example done there for you. You can use my picture if you like. You can come up with your own if you think you can do a better job. Next thing I'm going to do is draw the arrow to coal is burned in power stations to produce power. You then need to think, how are you going to illustrate that in a picture? I'll let you work that out and complete the rest of the flowchart. Work your way around. You can follow my structure if you like, the shape of mine. That way you know you're going to fit it onto a single A4 side. If it looks different, it doesn't matter, as long as it's clear which box links to which with those arrows. Again, those arrows don't need to be red. I've just picked red because it stands out. You can just draw them in pen or pencil if you like. You can color them in if you want. It doesn't make any difference. The main task is copy the words and draw a picture to show and illustrate what's happening. Along the bottom of the screen, there are 5 words or terms that I think you might need definitions of. So please read those and hopefully those make some sense. If there's anything else in here you're not sure on, then perhaps use the internet if you have it available there with you and have a little look and see what you can find out, or ask someone else at home. Or you can always email me as well. This should take 15 minutes or so, maybe 20. Grab out that pencil, grab out that pen, and off you go. Pause the video now. Okay, well done. So you should have the flowchart drawn out and some pictures done, and hopefully you've had a nice think now and have understood those two different impacts and how they link to coal mine. The next task is to watch a video. There's a YouTube link on the screen. You can click on that. I'll also link it in on class charts should you need to use that. There are some questions on the next slide. Pause the video to fill in those questions whenever you like, or you can watch all the way through the video and answer them at the end if you want to try and test your memory. That is entirely up to you. I'm going to move to the next slide now. There we are. We're on the next slide with the questions. So copy the question followed by the answer. Nice and simple. I would keep this slide up with the video. You can come back and forward to it. The next slide shows the answers. So try to stop. If you're on the PowerPoint, don't jump to the next slide yet, or you'll give the answers away. Pause the video now, and I'll be moving on to the answers in just a second. Okay, so here are the answers. I'll let you work through them all. Double check if you've got them correct. Well done if you have, and if you haven't, well, correct them to the correct answer. Pause the video now. Okay, well done. You've made it to the end of the lesson. One final task to do. Write an answer to the title question using everything that you've learned today. Why don't tourists visit Linfen? There's a sentence starter on the board there for you. This should take 5 to 10 minutes. Try and put it all together into one nice piece of writing. And if you're going to send me anything from this lesson, this could be the thing you send. This is a chance to be a bit creative, to show off what you've learned so far, to put it all together. Make sure that you go to class charts and complete the quiz for this week. The link will be on class charts, as I said, along with the code. If we could get every single one of you doing that, that would be great. I can see how much you've learned over the last few lessons and can send some feedback, make some adjustments in future lessons if I need to. I can only do that if you complete it. And please put your names. Make sure you use your username, your school username, so I know it's you. And then if I need to, I can actually get hold of you directly. I've been giving students today some feedback based on their quizzes, but I can only do that if I know it's you. Thank you very much. Have a lovely weekend, and I shall speak to you all after the holidays. Take care.